Good Monday. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I did. We had a busy weekend at the shop, so thanks for everybody that came out and played games. Had a good time, hope. And yeah, it was all good. Uh, well, had several thoughts today, and of course about what to talk about. And of course, forgot most of them already. Um, Interesting. Um, been talking with Mike about doing War Master. War Master, I go back when it first came out in '90s, late '90s. I don't know the exact date. Uh, oh, okay, I think I'm back. Sorry about that. That was my Games Workshop rep. I had slight panic this morning. I was gone most of yesterday, and that's when we get the um, email for the new releases. So come in this morning and I'm looking and like, there's no email about any new releases. So I'll go to community page. Yep, there's looks like there's going to be new stuff out. Go back, I don't see it because in the past they would, it was from Games Workshop, whoever, whatever. But the title has always been in the email. Um, I can't remember exactly. I don't want to look, but anyway, it says a new release for whatever, you know, July 14th or whatever the date. So that was my cue to, hey, that's the email that has the link to the Google form for me to order. Well, I didn't see it, so Panic had sent an email to be in my rep saying, hey, where's my link for the new releases? Because they did have an issue since they've been doing this type twice now with the links and the emails. So, but it was they changed the format. It just says U.S. trade news. To me, that has nothing to do. I guess ever so slightly to do with new stuff, but put in the title of your email exactly what it's about. I need, and I search when I go back trying to get history of something, when something was supposed to be ordered or whatever. I would type in the release date, and it would pop up, and I could easily find that email about what was being released. And a lot of times it might have been, is it web only? Is it direct for me? How do I order it? When was it ordered? Was it even on something I could order? Because not everything they put on the community page actually gets released at the same time. Anyway, long story. I did find the email. Game feedback. Please put new releases. And once again, I love having the date. It makes it so much easier to check your email, especially like I didn't check my emails yesterday afternoon, yesterday night. I don't know, already had 50 emails today. And so anyway, yeah, they're once again, don't want to slam Games Workshop, but the ordering process is, 1980s. Everybody else, once again, even mom and pops, which I was looking at, or small companies, you know, and I know, a lot of them are using Shopify or other stuff that makes it easy, but I just don't understand why Games Workshop can't have a system that is somewhat customer user friendly at all. I don't get it. Anyway, what were we talking about? What was I going to talk about? War Master. I've discussed this topic several times. What is a dead game? Just because they're not putting out new stuff for, or companies putting out new stuff for a game, and I'll take War Master with Games Workshop with War Master. They have not touched that. It's been a while 2012, something like that. But there's a huge group. I think they're Czech, people from Poland. That area, that really strong um, player base, and they actually have come up with updated it and keep updating it. It's called War Master Revolution, and Army List they update. And also with that, there's a lot of other things. We're looking at doing Lord of the Rings War Master. There was the War of the Ring by Games Workshop, kind of using that as a base, but there's several other people once again have put out Army List and rules changes, additions, and stuff like that for it. And what's crazy is the number of, well, it's not crazy, it's kind of the way things are going, of STLs, files to print out there. I'm actually one of the patrons. I've only got a handful, about 4 that I'm part of. I knew he had it. I'd got it for other stuff, my Starship Troopers files, but he has a ton of War Master files. So I got to looking, and there's several sites that have really good STL files. So downloaded them, sent them to Joel and Alvin to print some, and looking forward to actually getting it on the table. Printed some buildings, took some of my 28 mil buildings, shrunk them down to 10, 12 millimeter size, and they look good. And okay, I think I'm done for printing right now, but once again, you can do a whole fort, walls, all this stuff, bunch of buildings. And I printed like a whole set in a day. And talking to Mike, he definitely thinks he could probably paint a whole set in a day. And you get this, once again, true epic battle. So looking forward to doing that. So it goes back to Game Isn't Dead if people are playing it. Now, I have to put my I own a real retail shop hat on. What can I sell with that? Pretty much nothing. But it goes back. I guess my first thing is getting people into the shop. That's why I host tournaments. I want to do a bunch and other things, but I would like to get more organized events, and this War Master I think would be one of them. That would be good. Would I get any sales direct? No, but just get people in the shop is my first goal. Of course, second goal is hey, run games that people gonna play. So that's where I need feedback. I'm still not getting a bunch of feedback. I know it's a challenge, but I'm always looking for that new game, especially board games. It's incredible. There's so many board games out there. It's tough. So I'm always asking customers, hey, especially new customers, what's their favorite game, what games they play, stuff like that. Got some feedback. Ralph mentioned Blackout. I had not gotten any Blackout in a while. That's a near future skirmish game, very deadly, very fun. And they Enemy Spotted Games, that's the name of their company, has just released some new stuff. And not too long ago, they released a 2-player starter and some other stuff. So I did an order of it. Got some, should be coming in today, I think. Maybe we can get that going back on the table. What else? On that note, one thing I was thinking about is I like dealing with the small indie game developers like Enemy Spotted, Bad Goblin with Turtle Park Apocalypse, Fjord Serpents with Luke. I I really like working with them, and it kind of twofold. Once again, I put my retail hats on, and as games that other stores don't carry, I put the stuff up on the web. I do get web orders from that. I push their game, and it's a lot. Go back to Games Workshop. Big picture, does Games Workshop really care if I exist? We're talking about big picture. Probably not. I'm just not even a bump in their overall sales. But we start working with small companies. You can be even if it's small quantities. You are helping them out, and they help you out in return. And I go back to Bad Goblin. Just mention the store on a podcast. For me, that's huge. Goes a long ways. Would you ever see Games Workshop put out anything? Hey, go to Discover Games now. Now, once again, how many people are listening to these podcasts and stuff? It's funny. I find it's actually a smaller community out there than what you think. Todd Johnson, who lives not too far away, he discovered the store by a podcast from Australia. And it's funny, he goes, I drove by your store almost every day and never stopped until he heard some guys in the podcast from Australia mention Discover Games in Fayetteville, Georgia. He's like, I know that place. And so since then, Todd is a regular customer, become a good friend, and actually goes to convention with me and pushes games. So it is a small community, so any shout outs are great and appreciated. And I try to, the same thing, I try to mention games, post pictures on Facebook. I need to get better at that. And so I still, Games Workshop, it keeps the doors open, pays the bills, and while I don't play 40K or Age of Sigmar, I do think they do definitely have good games. Their models are the benchmark. So once again, other than their ordering system, I have no problems with them, and they meet a huge requirement for my shop. We had Travis and his guys had a 40K tournament, and how many do they have? 18, 17. So run about 20, about every other month, once a month, is depending. And it's good to see the tables fill up with those, and they're a good group of guys. Had another, I was thinking about back once again, many random thoughts today. Thinking about board games. I need to play more board games. We did get Robo Rally out, had a blast with it. It's a fun game. I played it back in the day. They did create a new version. Definitely streamline the game a lot faster. It's one of those games, almost the more people you have, the more fun it is. Because it is definitely, a lot of times not even intentional, but kind of screw your neighbor type game. And it's fun. It's hilarious. It's a good time. I was thinking about co-op games. Once again, I mentioned it before. Not a huge fan of co-op games. I do like co-op games that have a trader aspect, possibly. I think it's good. There are a couple, and I can't even think of any off the top of my head, of co-op games I know we played Cthulhu Must Die several times. I like it. Is it my favorite game? No, but it is the dungeon crawls. I guess would be the top of cooperative game I do like. So there are a few out there. I just once again I was thinking just in general about board games and wanting to play more. Um, and I was like to myself, what type of games board games do I like? And it goes right now. The number of board games out there compared, let's say 20 years ago. I forgot who I was talking to about board games. No, it used to be Hasbro, Avalon Hill. There were only a handful of manufacturers, and independent board gamer companies. I couldn't tell you any off my head right now. Today, you go to Board Game Geek, great resource for board games, and they have a list of the top 20 hot games. Most of them are Kickstarters. Most of them games I've never heard of, or once again, independent publishers. It's just it's crazy, and a lot of that has it has blown up due to Kickstarters. Still not a big fan of the Kickstarters, even though I do back one or two board games a year. I do have become friends with several people out there in the industry that are doing Kickstarters. I think Aaron's finished up today these buildings. I do a lot more for STL Kickstarters. He sent me the sample. It is awesome stuff. I look forward to printing this stuff up. But shout out to Aaron at Jolly Lark. Does incredible work. Super quality, super nice guy. We are rambling here. See. Okay, sorry about that. Another little break there. It was the post lady, very nice lady, and got my AR armor. I have to show you these. What? I've been selling the heck out of these. Are just cool. Ah, they're fun. At the convention a week ago, I had a young lady. She was looking around, and you tell she not a big gamer, but she kept looking at the ice and talking with her friend, and they were about to leave. And I said, "Oh, you got to see my latest cool thing," and rolled them. And she went, "What?" Just this is her expression, and she looked at me. And she goes, "Those make my brain happy," and I'll never be a long time for her to forget that her expression, and this that makes my brain happy. I loved it. So pick up some dice, flashing dice, and make your brain happy. Hang on, back spam call. It's definitely one of those Mondays trying to get stuff done. But I did get some more dice. I got some sleeves, some. What did I order? Boxes, card deck boxes. My armor. Once again, another great independent company. Oh, shout out to Mythical Meats. I said Ralph is down in the Million Island, and they just opened a game shop not too far from him. And it's more of a cafe. He sent me some emails asking questions. Guess he'd been talking to the owner there and answer them. Then he's given me some feedback, and he'd mentioned the mythical meat sticks, and I've seen them out there at conventions or other places. But I said, I'll look into that. A lot of times it's like, I'll look into it. But I like this. It looks cool. Then I started doing, I had to put my my retail hat on. I said, you know what? That's I could sell these and make a little money. Um, so anyway, I opened an account. They sent me the product. I got it on Friday. Had just a simple question, nothing big. So emailed their customer service. It's late Friday. I was like, not a big deal. I'll hear back from them Monday. Well, their customer service, she called me, and it was like 30 minutes after I sent the email. That long, I'm like, wow, that as a brand new customer for them, had no idea who I was. Had a simple question that could have been answered by email on Monday. That they called me, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. You don't see customer service like that. And it goes a long ways. I'll probably be ordering more of their product, not only because everybody was buying this weekend, but because of that customer service aspect. And once again, that stuff I wish, and I know it's tough, especially if you're a bigger company and you're getting hundreds of email a day. But it's just something about a timely response, let alone a phone call. So a shout out to them. So, yeah, I kind of wrap up here. I appreciate the small independent companies because I look at it as what I am. Definitely on the small side when you talk about the bigger stores. You got Gigabytes, Level Up, People Madness. They're easily twice my size, if not more. And then even more, their sales, I can't compete. Multiple reasons, but they're all great stores, and I think we are definitely spoiled in the Atlanta area with the great stores out there. Huge player base, and I think as the hobby grows, the industry grows, I think that it will just help everybody out. That we're all doing good. So, and even the smaller, I have to need to give out a shout out to Dan down at Griffin Dan Wolf Games. They're going to have their third anniversary this week, I believe on Wednesday. I'll need to run by and say hey to them. But and there's several other smaller stores in Atlanta and some discard shops. And you got Superheroes over in Nuna. I send people over there all the time. So I don't do singles, they do. So yeah, this kind of shout out to all the small companies, independent guys on this fine Monday. So, well, I'm gonna run before I get interrupted again. I got AR Armor to check in. Got some other stuff. I still got emails to answer, and probably stay busy today. So, anyway, once again, thanks for everybody listening, and we'll talk to you next time.